Okay, prop the mic, PTM. We're back. It's been a week. We've been on hiatus for a week, but we're back Tuesday, June 20th with a nice 3-game WNBA slate. How you been?
Sometimes life gets in the way of PTM.
It does, fortunately.
Fortunately. But yeah, happy belated Father's Day to you. Hopefully you had a good one.
Yes. We both had family in town, so it was an eventful few days, but nice to get back to it here.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. I mean, the reality is sports in general, we're pretty quiet over the last couple of days. So hopefully we get in a good rhythm here. Definitely got 3 games tonight in the WNBA. So looking forward to talking about those today.
Yes, let's do it.
All right, so let's dive into it. We got the Dream at the Wings is the first game. Dream are 5-5, and the Wings are 5-6. So these two teams are kind of going in opposite directions. The Dream have won 3 games in a row, whereas the Wings have lost 3 games in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Yet the Wings are still favored, -3 at home. Total is 170.5. So that's about as high as it gets in the WNBA. I haven't seen it much higher than that. These two teams played back in May. The Dream lost. They had 78 and the Wings had 85. But again, kind of two different teams at that point. I'll tell you why. These are the number 1 and number 2 pace teams in the league. So you're going to see the ball moving a lot today. And neither of them play particularly great defense. Number 7 and number 8 in the league. They are both good at rebounding, though. Number 1 and number 2 teams in the league. So they're going to score a lot. They're not going to play a lot of defense, but they will grab a lot of rebounds. So that's kind of the story. It should be a really fun game to watch. Very fast-paced game. So what do you like here?
In terms of matchups, I mean, nothing really standing out. I think it's, I think pretty much my take on this game is like, if you have a good feeling on somebody, play them. It's one of those games where it's like, there's nothing, sticking out in the red that's like a fade worthy matchup. And there's nothing really, you have some decent matchups scoring wise, a couple of rebound options, but I'd say, nothing really sticks out like a sore thumb here. So I think you're kind of good, especially given the high point total in this game. I think it's a nice game for some props here. So I had 2. They were both on the Atlanta side. Not a ton of props out on the Dallas side. Is that what you were seeing as well?
No, I saw some. I think the Stars the Stars have the props out on the Dallas side. But let's hear what you got for Atlanta first, then we'll go over to Dallas.
So Dallas, like you just mentioned, the rebounding. Dallas is the number 2 rebounding target for guards. So I liked Alicia Gray over 5.5 rebounds. I like that given the matchup, and then I liked her home road splits. So she's cleared 5.5 rebounds in 4 of 5 road games this season, averaging 7 rebounds. And she's only cleared it in 1 of 5 home games, averaging 4.8 rebounds. So it's a huge discrepancy right there. She's got a nice fast-paced game on the road. I think this bodes well for Gray here.
Yeah, and she's been getting pretty big minutes. She's been scoring a lot lately. Her point total, if you recall, I think we were playing her a week ago at like 15.5, 16.5. Her point total on DraftKings was as high as 20.5 today. Wow. So I didn't look at her rebounds. I like what you just said there. I was considering her potentially as a fade spot at 20.5 because she really hasn't done that very often this year. But I'm not going to fade anybody in this game just because I think it's going to be a shootout. So okay, good. Anybody else on the Dream?
So the scoring Dallas's number 2 scoring matchup for forwards. Yep. So I liked Parker here. Forwards averaging 17.9 points per game. Her line's 16.5, and she's got a nice trend here. She's cleared this line in every other game this season, and she's
the AD of the WNBA.
She is the AD of the WNBA. Every other Parker.
Every other Parker.
every other game she's cleared this in. She had 15 last game, so history would tell you she's due tonight. So yeah, I like that trend. I like the matchup. Let's go Cheyenne Parker over 16.5 points.
Okay. Yeah, I think we were hesitant to play her earlier in the season just because she was fairly inconsistent. But at least she's forming into a bit of a pattern, right?
Up and down.
Let's ride that one, maybe a half unit, just given it's not the strongest trend. What about Ryan Howard? 17.5 points. She's the other forward for Atlanta.
I didn't have anything on her. Did you? What do you got?
Yeah, I just like she's only hit 18 points in 5 of 10 games this year. But if you dissect those 5 games, she missed early in the season, the second game against Minnesota. And then she missed against 4 really good teams: Las Vegas, New York, Connecticut, and New York. So missed against high quality opponents. And when they played in the second game, first game of the season, she scored 20 points against Dallas. So I think it's a good matchup as well, just like you called out forwards against Dallas, especially in this matchup of a high scoring game.
Nice. I like that.
All right. And then on the Dallas side, I just kind of looked at the 2 stars there. You got Sabali and Ogunbowale. Sabali is 21.5 points. It's her line, minus 115. She scored 25 last time she played Atlanta, and she's crossed this line in 6 of her 11 games so far. Ogunbowale is her line is 24.5. She scored 27 against Atlanta, and she's also done this in 6 of the last of the 11 games this season. So, when I look, I want to play one of them because one of them is going to definitely clear the line. I don't see both of them not clearing the line. They both cleared this by a good margin last time they played Atlanta. But I kind of like Ogunbowale here a little bit better just because I think she's been more consistent in the last 4 games. She's cleared this line 24.5 in 3 out of the last 4 games. And even the line, the juice kind of indicates that it's minus 125 versus minus 115 for Sabali. So I'm going with that. Arike.
Why does Satu have nothing up on Prize Picks?
I don't know. That was weird. I had to look kind of back into it on props.cash to even find the line, and then I think you can find it on FanDuel or DraftKings.
Yeah, I saw it on FanDuel. That's initially it wasn't. I mean on props.cash. She wasn't on there, and that's linked to Prize Pick. So I was just, I didn't know if there was some reason for that or a game time decision or whatnot. But
no, she was projected to start. I didn't see anything injury wise for her. But even more reason to play Ogunbowale because if Sabali ends up being out, that's going to be even more points for her. So
yeah.
All right, cool.
Nice.
Good. You ready to move on to the next one?
Yes, I am.
All right. So we got the Lynx 3 and 8 going up against the Sparks, your hometown team, minus 6 at home. Totals 159. Sparks are 5 and 6 on the season. They've lost their last 2. And actually, these 2 teams have played in the last week. They've played twice. Sparks last week and a half. The Lynx actually won both games. So the Lynx only have 3 wins on the season, 2 of which came against the Sparks. So
interesting.
They kind of have their number a little bit. Shepard's out for the Lynx today, so that's some big center presence that's going to be out, and then Brown and Clarendon are out for the Sparks, so they're going to be pretty short at the guard position. So. Yeah, this is going to be a slower pace game. You got the number 7 pace team going up against the number 10 pace team. So it's reflected in that total of 159. All right, so I'll start with this one. I'll cover the post that we put up already this morning. Jordan Canada, over 14.5 points, minus 120. This was on FanDuel. If you looked at DraftKings, it was at 15.5 already. She's done this in 5 of 10 games on the season, but covered in 4 of the last 5 games. And, the 2 games versus the Lynx this season, she's scored 18 and 22. So I think those are very good matchup for her today. You can read the full write-up on Twitter. And then I think with Brown and Clarendon being out, she's really the main guard. So the ball's going to be in her hand most of the game.
Yeah.
So I like that play. I also have a lean on her assists, 5.5 assists. I think it's also a good play. Don't have a lot of supporting facts behind that, but she's been really consistent this season. Almost gets 5 assists or more every single game. So I think it's a good matchup for her as well on assists.
Nice. I like that. Kind of tagging off that. I like NECA assists in this one. It's Minnesota is the number 1 assist matchup for forwards, averaging just under 4 assists per game from the forward position. Her line is 3.5, minus 115 on FanDuel. The last 2 games without Lexi, she had 5 and 7. The 7 was against Minnesota. She's also done this in 4 straight home games, 5, 7, 5, and 4. So I think this is nice with the increased, ball handling responsibilities she'll have. Lexi's not a big, playmaker. She's really more in there for scoring. So it's not like a lot of extra assists to go around, but I just like, I think that shapes up well. She's been successful without Lexi in the lineup, clearing that line, and success at home and a great matchup. So let's try that one out.
I think that's great. I actually saw that earlier and I couldn't find which book actually had it. I think that's a great play. Like I saw the same thing that you saw, the 2 games that Brown and Clarendon have been out. She's had a really good hit rate. So like clearing this by a good margin. So that's a good play.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep. That was all I really had in terms of matchups. Centers don't have a great matchup here against the Lynx. It's possible fade-worthy spot, but no one really lines up to kind of slot in there and take advantage of that matchup. And forwards against the Sparks, also not a great matchup, but nothing I could really, nothing that made me, really lock in on a pick there. So that was all I had for this game.
All right, good. I don't think that's the game. That's probably the game that you want to stay away from the most, especially for overs. So I think those are good spots to call out, and we'll focus on the first and the third. Third game being the Sun at the Storm. This is the only 2 teams in tonight's matchups that haven't played each other yet. So it's kind of cool. We're at that point of the season where almost every team has played each other. That's just going to help us, get even more data points. But also at the same time, you're starting to see some injuries pile up a little bit. So that's going to make it harder. Storm are getting 8 points at home. Again, total similar to the second game is 159.5. Sun are really good, 9-3 on the season. They don't score a ton. They're like kind of middle of the pack in scoring. Really good in defense, though. Number 3 overall in defense. Number 7 in rebounding. The Storm really don't have much going on. They're number 11 in scoring, number 9 in defense, number 10 in rebounding. So we've talked about that in the past. They've got their two stars. And then after that, they've got a bunch of talent, but it's just not ready. Not ready to do a lot on the court yet. So what do you like in this game?
All right. Matchup wise, center's really bad against Seattle. That's that Ezzy defense, I guess. So I think that's a fade worthy spot here. Let's do that one right now. I think we've been cashing on her, but I think this is probably a spot maybe to take her under. Brianna Jones, under 16.5 points.
How dare you? How dare you? She's been the best player to us this whole season, right?
She has.
Right?
She can still be good and go under.
Okay, what's her line?
Her line's 16.5. Okay. She has cleared it in her last 3 games, but I think that what that tells me is it's time for some regression here and a bad matchup for her. Center's only averaging 10 points per game against Seattle. That's dead last in the league. So I think this is a good spot The trend would say otherwise, but I think this is a spot to play the matchup here and kind of fade Jones. You're not liking it though, I see.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm looking like prior to the last 3 games. What it, 6, 7, 8, 9. She was 2 for 9, right? So she consistently she hasn't scored less than 12 points this whole season.
Yeah.
So that's a little scary because she's gonna get like in range of this regardless, right? So then the question is, does she have enough to push across? I think a lot of it comes down to playing time. If you look at the last 3 games where she scored 18, 28, and 17, she's had 27, 42, and 33 minutes. Prior to that, her minutes are kind of up and down, but this could be a blowout, this game. So hopefully that's what happens and she goes under. So
nice. Yeah. And then the other matchup that I like. So forwards have a good matchup scoring wise, particularly against Seattle. So I like the Alyssa Thomas here to go. This is difficult because you're picking one of the Brianna Jones, I guess, is the center, but she's also, I don't know if they have a true center, but I guess
they don't
she
really.
is.
She's the most center out of their forwards, but they have three forwards, right?
Yeah. So kind of picking, this, very easily, I maybe could flip flop, but I like the trend here of Alyssa Thomas's home and road splits. So her line's 15.5 points. She's cleared this in 5 of 6 on the road. She's cleared it in all 5 road games when she's played 33 plus minutes. And she's only cleared this in 1 of 6 home games this season. So pretty nice, compelling home road splits. Not sure exactly what's going on there. But given the good matchup, forwards averaging 17 points a game against Seattle, I think this shapes up nicely for her tonight.
They do play in Mohegan Sun, don't they?
They do.
There's a lot of distractions there. So
yeah, I guess.
not saying that she's into that, but
yeah.
I could see how somebody might be a little distracted if you played at Mohegan Sun. So
what about the Aces then?
Yeah, that's a really good point. They should lose every game if that's the case, right?
Yeah. But yeah, so that's my lean here. Against Connecticut, I didn't really have anything. They're pretty good defensively. Center seems to be the best spot to target them. The points, especially. I don't know, were you on Ezzy?
I didn't because it went up to 14.5. I was looking at it when I was at 13.5. I think she's in a good spot, but what I'm a little concerned about with her, she's been getting in foul trouble quite a bit lately. And I could see this team, with a lot of size,
a lot of experience. Like those three veteran forwards. Yeah, they could get her into foul trouble. I'm with you on that.
So I don't think she's a good fade because this is a good matchup for her. But at the same point, I wouldn't risk the over either. So we'll save Ezzy for next game. We're gonna play her a lot this year. She's awesome.
Yes.
I want you to look at this one. Heidemann, guard for the Sun.
Yeah.
They had her assist line at 3.5 assists, minus 113. She's done this in 7 of 12 games this season, and 6 of her last 8. So I think the reason why I think the line is so low is her minutes the last 3 games have been declining. She's been going from like 30 minutes down to like 25 or so. But I think that's a function of the game script. I think in those games they came out a little flat. I think in this game they're gonna come out strong, and I think she'll be on the court more. So I tried to research and understand what's driving her reduction in minutes. But if I can't find a good reason, I think this is a good overplay because her consistency on hitting 4 assists in a game is really good, even with lower minutes. She's 6 out of her last 8. So Heidemann 3.5 assists.
Nice. Another one that's weird. It's on FanDuel, but not Prize Picks. I don't know what's going on with Prize Picks today, but
Yeah. WNBA is tough. You got to like really scour everything
you do.
to find the best value. But because it's harder to find, you can also find more value easily comparing DraftKings and FanDuel. You can find a point, just like I did with Canada this morning. The other one to talk about is Jewel Lloyd. I think she's in a bad matchup tonight. I would go under on her 25.5 points, minus 120. She just put up 39 points in the last game, so it's scary to play an under on her. But before that, she missed this line 4 games in a row. And she's only hit this line in 4 of 9 games all season. So I think, going up against the number 3 defense in the league, pretty good against guards. I think she's going to have a hard time tonight. So she'll either put up 40 points or like 18 tonight is my guess.
Same. Coming off a 39-point game. We're fading her, huh?
Listen, her line was as high as like 28 this season.
Yeah.
And dropped all the way down to 22. So, they're still trying to figure out what she can do, but I think this is not a good matchup for her to I do like that she's home, but I think it's I'd put maybe a half unit on fading her points. What I think is a better play, if you're scared away by her points, I'm gonna dip into a prop that we haven't played yet because it's only available on Prize Picks, but I think her turnovers is a great play tonight.
Oh yeah,
2.5 turnovers. She's done this in 5 of the last 6 games, and she's had 5 turnovers in 3 of those 6 games. So, and she's coming off of a game against, I think it was Dallas that they played, where she had like 5 or 6 turnovers. Dallas is not even a very good defensive team, and she was coughing up the ball a lot. The Sun is they're the second best team in the league in terms of steals. So number 3 defense, number 2 in steals, going up against Lloyd, who's going to be probably trying to press it more than she should. And I think she's good for at least 3 or 4 turnovers tonight.
All right, a turnover play. There we go. Getting fancy. All right.
So if you have access to Prize Picks, that's a good thing to put with one of the other plays that we talked about today.
Yeah. All right. I think that was all my picks for today.
Cool.
So I think that's everything. We'll get this posted up on Twitter. We'll get a couple props to tack on to our Jordan Canada that's up already there today, and let's make some money.